Hi. My wife is watching me do this as always. I also have my animals rolling around. I'm on mid shift currently, so I don't get a whole lot of friend time in. But today, I want to talk about something near and dear to a lot of Americans' hearts. It's football. And with football season being in full swing, I figured there's no better topic to do this on. Now, I want to hit on the take a knee protest. I want to hit on taxpayers' dollars, and then I want to hit on what it costs the actual NFL players and their bodies during the football season and training season up to. Now, I'm Zachary Hughes, and this is something a lot of people already know about, but it should be addressed a little more thoroughly, and we should all educate one another on it if we don't. So let's jump right into the take a knee protest. This is a hot button topic right now. People feel like the players are disrespecting the flag, disrespecting our country, disrespecting our troops, when it couldn't be anything further from the truth. The song and our American flag are just symbols. They're just a piece of cloth and an old song. That's it. There's no malicious intent there to our troops. There's no bad feelings towards our troops. There's nothing of that sort. But it is a very, very legitimate protest, in my opinion, and they're doing it perfectly. The protest itself is a response to violence against the black community by our police department and the ongoing racism that's still prevalent in today's society. Now, it's nowhere near a Jim Crow laws type deal, but it is still a very serious topic of today, and it's still going on. So it needs to be addressed, and they're doing it. They're using their platform in the appropriate manner, and it doesn't hurt anyone. So you couldn't ask for a better protest if you ask me. Now, this leads me right into my next topic, and it won't become clear until I'm a little bit into it. So hold on, and it'll all come to light. The taxpayers are on the hook for a lot of the NFL expenses, including the stadium's maintenance and rent on the stadium. So it's no wonder our budgets are kind of all out of whack when you really think about it. The stadium is paid for by government subsidies from the city and state up to 75% of the actual total cost of that stadium. These stadiums cost close to $1 billion, like a literal billion, and they bring nothing to the city. Now, what are we actually paying for? That's building materials, labor cost. When I say renovations to the actual stadium, any updates that need to be done, plumbing, sewage, kitchens, any food, just the entire thing. It's paid for by tax dollars. Now, 75% is actually just the average. Some stadiums cost more, some a little less. But either way, it's a pretty good amount of money that I feel like we could be spending a little better, or a little more wisely. Oakland, for example, is losing their football team to Las Vegas. The Raiders are moving to Vegas. I'm not sure when or if it's something soon, but Oakland will be left with a empty stadium generating no revenue, but they still owe $85 million on the stadium. This was renovated back in 1995, and in 1995 they happened to let go of quite a bit of police officers to help budget this new stadium in, and it's kind of ironic they would let go of somewhere between 50 and 115 police officers in the middle of the 90s in Oakland, California, when so much was going on back then. I'm not going to give a detailed history lesson, but I think we all remember, and it's actually kind of still going on today. The next topic I want to talk about is the cost to the players. This most people are going to take with a grain of salt, because these players are paid exorbitant paychecks and just ridiculous amounts of money to essentially just play a game and not even that many games, up to 8 or so a year, but they pay a physical price for our entertainment, and we should probably respect that. The price being a TBI, which is traumatic brain injury, which leads to further and more serious brain diseases such as brain encephalopathy, and that one of the side effects is hyperaggression and dementia, coupled with the increased testosterone of performing at such an incredible level of athleticism in a what is essentially just modern day gladiatorial combat. Is it really any wonder why violence in the NFL and violent crimes are so prevalent? Is it really a question, or is it just common sense? This is, of course, what happen. These athletes are under an incredible amount of pressure and will pay the price. But what can we do about this? How does this fall onto us? Well, we can say that we don't want a new stadium in our city. My city, Jacksonville, where all my family lives, just paid for one of these huge stadiums by one of the world's richest men. He is so wealthy, it's just a joke. And yet we paid for this stadium, a stadium we didn't need. A stadium in a city that needs more police officers, that needs a better education system, and needs so much more than just football at this time. Now, we could be using these tax dollars to pay for better education of our police department, more police officers, and better equipment for them, so they can do a better job. It's a proven fact. People do a better job when they're paid better, right? Now, we have to make it known. This has been on the news before, but it's always taken a backseat to something else. So we have to make sure that this is known. This is where our taxpayers' dollars are going. And a lot of the problems that are being protested right now in the NFL can be solved by making sure we make the right vote, or making sure we write a letter, or just educating people around us who have more sway in these types of deals and matters. So take that away from this speech today, is that we have a voice in how our money is spent, and we don't want it spent on another building that does nothing for the city, that does nothing for the area around the stadium, but hurt it. So thank you for your consideration, and at least we're not the walking atrocity that is FIFA in Europe.